Cowboys here in Philadelphia, the NFC Championship was at stake. 4 seasons ago, the Eagles defeated a Dallas team with Danny White calling the signals. White was the quarterback then, and he'll be the quarterback this afternoon. For the Eagles, who went on to the Super Bowl, Ron Jaworski was their quarterback then, but he won't be leading the Eagles today. Jaworski underwent surgery this week after suffering a fractured left leg and torn ligaments early in last Sunday's game. The Eagles didn't care for the Cowboys when they played early in 1981, and although the baton has been passed to a new head coach, the feeling's the same. The Eagles, with slim playoff hopes of their own, are out to deal the Cowboys a blow to Dallas's postseason dreams.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles.
A sellout crowd at Veterans Stadium as this rivalry takes on a new chapter this afternoon. And in the tightest division race in the NFL, the Cowboys need a win to keep pace with Washington. The Giants are also in action. The Eagles cannot win the division title, but they can win a wild card, and they have to be pleased with their year. Good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, along with my partner, Hank Stram. And, of course, Hank, when they played the third week of the year, the Cowboys won. It was close, 23-17. Gary Hogeboom was the quarterback then. And now with Jaworski out, we're going to see Joe Pisarcik take over the quarterback helm for the Eagles.
Well, Joe Pisarcik, you know, has been in the league for 11 years. He's a regular quarterback for the New York Giants. He's got a great arm, has a good understanding of the game, reads coverages very, very well. The one shortcoming is that he doesn't move very well, so I'm sure that we'll see a lot of blitzes, especially up the middle, to try to flush him out of the pocket.
It was a close affair the last time they played, but that was earlier in September. What do you look for this time around, Hank?
You know, football is a game of repetition, Dick, as you know, and I think any time that you play the Dallas Cowboys, you have to repeat the process. Number one, you have to do a good job of running and controlling 1st and 10 situations. I think it's going to be important to run right at the defense and especially run left. I think you have to keep them out of second and long, third and long situations to keep the 7 defensive backs out of the game. And on the other side of the football, I think the Dallas Cowboys are not a big play team anymore. They have to rely on field position. They want to reduce the size of the field as much as they can so they don't have to travel a long way to get stud time.
Thank you, Henry, and we have a beautiful afternoon, 50 degrees, hardly a breeze, and partly sunny is the forecast. As Paul McFadden will kick off for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys have won the toss. There is Gary Allen, who's back there along with Chuck McSwain on the receiving end for the Dallas Cowboys. And the game is underway. It's going over to Allen's side at the goal line. He's at the 20 and knocked out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So let's check the Cowboys offense. Danny White making his 4th start of the year at quarterback. Tony Dorsett and Timmy Newsome, not Ron Springs. Timmy Newsome is starting at fullback. Tony Hill and Doug Donnelly are the wide receivers. On the offensive line, more problems. Rookie John Hunt starts at right guard. A guard, Brian Baldinger, will be at right tackle. And, of course, Cosby is the tight end, and he is having a fine year. 1st and 10. At the 23-yard line. And here's Tony Dorsett, and he's almost hit behind the line of scrimmage and barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's check the Eagles defensively for you. Dennis Harrison, Ken Clark, and Greg Brown all have really come on as pass rushers up front on the 3-4. Wilkes and Joel Williams are the outside linebackers, and Jerry Robinson and Anthony Griggs are inside. The secondary, Elbert Fowles and Herman Edwards are the corners, and Ray Ellis, who made that play, and Wes Hopkins are the safeties. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Play action pass, and White finds Tony Hill, and Hill doesn't get much. To about the 27-yard line where Joel Williams makes the tackle. We talked to Tony Hill last night.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence and feels good about what they're doing as far as the Cowboys are concerned. He thinks that he can beat anybody. I asked that question specifically. I said, who would you rather run against, one quarter or the other? He said, doesn't make any difference. Just have the quarterback throw the ball to me and I'll catch it.
He broke out of a kind of a slump with 8 receptions against the Patriots last week, plus a touchdown. It'll be 3rd down and 6 at the 27. Eagles in their nickel package defensively. And out of the spread, White caught, 1st down, and it's to Tony Hill again. It'll be a 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys at the 34-yard line. Herman Edwards making the tackle on Tony Hill.
They're in a shotgun formation. And he looks down the middle and throws outside to Tony Hill. Catches the ball in front of Herman Edwards. He knew exactly where he had to go for the 1st down. And, you know, a guy like Tony Hill, it's very important that he feels he's an intricate part of the game plan, and he knows he's an intricate part when you throw to him early in the game.
And that kind of a pass indicates what you said at the top about how the Cowboys have to travel offensively in this game. So they have a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Play action. And White in a rare rollout. He has room, and he's going to run it. Gets to the 43-yard line, make it the 42, and he picked up almost 8 yards on that play. Ray Ellis making the tackle. Danny White had an injured shoulder, was out a couple of games, and so he really takes a chance there.
That kind of a play, the out-contain man. The contain man means that he's got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Dennis Harrison, number 68, the left defensive end, took a sniff inside, and for that reason, he was able to get outside of that defensive end and had plenty of room to move the football.
2nd and short yardage. White, tip, incomplete. Dennis Harrison got a hand on that one. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. What a second half of a year Dennis Harrison has had as a pass rusher and just getting in everyone's face.
We asked about his good play. There he is, number 68, coming across the line, using his hands very well on the offensive tackle, jumping up into the air and knocking the ball down. We asked about his improvement during the course of the season. He says, one thing, motivation. I'm highly motivated to play much better.
That normally does the job, doesn't it?
Usually does.
He was going up against Brian Baldinger, who's had to play right tackle with Phil Posderick, still not ready to start. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 43 for the Cowboys, out of the spread again. And Danny White's pass is batted down by Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker. So the Eagles are getting their hands up, and they're coming down by knocking down Dallas passes. And it'll be 4th down, and in the punt will be Danny White. He's going to be kicking.
One thing that's very important when you try to throw in front of the defensive backs, you must keep the hands of the defensive lineman down and prevent penetration. That time, Reggie Wilkes, number 51, got the penetration, got his hands up in the air, and for that reason, he knocked the ball down.
Evan Cooper, who has averaged just over 6 yards a return, and Danny White, who's been known to run, this time boots it away, and it's Cooper inside the 20-yard line. Is hit shy of the 25-yard line, and Vince Albritton really put a hit on Evan Cooper there. So the Philadelphia Eagles will have the ball for the first time in the game, but there's a penalty flag down, and wait, a penalty flag is down. Bob Frederick is the referee. It was a late flag, but there was certainly contact on the side and pointing all over the place. Frederick, the referee. It's a personal foul against Philadelphia.
It's funny to watch the players. One side said, no, it's on them. The other one says, no, it's on the other team. A lot of officials out there, even though they're not wearing a black and white suit.
Marion Campbell, the head coach, who is really pleased with the way the Eagles have come on.
Personal foul, number 24 on the return team.
Ray Ellis, who's getting a little bit of a lecture from Marion Campbell. That's going to set the Eagles back, but they'll have the ball when we return to Veterans Stadium. Eagles ball, 1st and 10 on their 12-yard line following the personal foul penalty against Ellis. And here's Joe Pisarcik making his first start since 1979 when he was a New York Giant. Randy White getting awfully anxious, and here's Wilbert Montgomery getting nothing, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage at best. Dexter Clinkscale making the tackle.
You take a look at Randy White, number 54. They're trying to block him to the inside, and they block him pretty well. Denard has got a pretty good piece of him. There's too many folks in there. There's too many people, just like trying to run through a revolving door, and not much of a gain on the play.
Randy White says you got to get up for all of the opposition on the offensive line. The feather in their hat if they beat me. Michael Haddix bringing in the plays. Now at fullback for Hubie Oliver. They'll be alternating. Here's Wilbert Montgomery. Slides his way out to the 15-yard line. A gain of about 3. Anthony Dickerson makes the tackle. Montgomery's the leading rusher for the Eagles at 607 yards. But he's been playing with bruised ribs, and he has yet to go over 100 yards in a game this year.
Here comes the 7 backs.
4-row defense. Tom Landry, who announced this week that he will indeed end speculation and be the Dallas Cowboys head coach for the next several years. 3rd down and 7. Mel Hoover is the 3rd wide receiver, number 85. Pisarcik on 3rd down, getting a rush, and his pass is caught up the middle by Spagnola. Tight end, and a 1st down at the 30-yard line. Named this week the MVP on offense. 50th catch of the year, and a gain of 16.
You know, Spagnola usually comes out of the game on this spread formation. They're keeping him in this week, and he broke over in the middle on a delayed pattern and was finally tackled by Clinksdale, but they pick up the necessary yardage for the 1st down. Good pass protection on the play. They seal him off in good shape on the inside.
Gain of 15, 1st and 10. Here's Montgomery. Runs right into Michael Downs and is shy of the 35-yard line. He picks up 4 yards, though, on the play. Michael Downs making the play on Wilbert Montgomery. He talked about that NFC title game that we looked at the top of the program. He gained 194 yards with Montgomery in that game, including a 55-yard touchdown. So he has fond memories against these Dallas Cowboys. 2nd down and 6 at the 34. Montgomery coming out wide to the left. Haddix the lone setback.
They might try to, as much as they possibly can. I think they're going to try to work on Dexter Clinkscale as much as they can. That time he came in from the outside and really made a good play in the tackle.
Randy White made the tackle right there on Michael Haddix, carrying for the 1st time.
Watch the defensive line play again. Watch Randy White, number 54, get off his block, uses his hand very well, and comes in and makes the tackle.
It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Pisarcik and the Eagles. He's already made good on 1 3rd down conversion.
Let's see if they try to lick Clinksdale again on this play.
Pass is picked off by Dennis Thurman, and he's going to run it in for the touchdown. A carbon copy to last week's game, Thanksgiving Day against the New England Patriots, when Michael Downs picked one off from Tony Eason and ran it in, and Dennis Thurman, who has intercepted a pass in each of the last 6 games against the Philadelphia Eagles, gives the Cowboys a lead.
They're trying to hit the tight end Spagnola, trying to work on Clinkscale again, but he threw the ball. There he is. He throws it too far outside, and Thurman comes up with great anticipation, makes the interception, and goes all the way for the touchdown.
Dennis Thurman with his 5th interception of the season. He's tied with Michael Downs for the club leadership. And here's Rafael Septien in to try the conversion. Gary Hogaboom is holding. The kick is up. It is good. And Septien now is 24 of 25 in conversions. And with 8:14 to go in the 1st quarter, Thurman puts the Cowboys in front 7-0. 6 interceptions last year. He has 5 right now, and the big defensive play putting the Cowboys in front 7-0. Septien will be kicking off, and Evan Cooper going deep in the middle for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles coming in with a record of 5-7-1. Find themselves in an early hole with 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Cooper at the 8-yard line. A problem. And brings it out close to the 20-yard line. Vince Albritton making the tackle on Evan Cooper. And so the Philadelphia Eagles will take over once again at the 19-yard line, with Joe Pisarcik leading the way. Mike Quick, who has been an outstanding receiver last year and, of course, came on with 8 catches against the Cardinals last week, has sore ribs and tendonitis of the knee, but Kenny Jackson, the fine rookie, is back in the action.
I talked to Mike Quick before the game in the locker room. Boy, he was disappointed that he couldn't play. He said it was just sore and tender. He'll be back next week, but no business today.
Tony Woodruff is split out to the left, 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Wilbert Montgomery finds a hole off the left side and runs into Michael Downs again. But he picks up just about 5 yards on the play, close to the 25-yard line.
I think basically, you know, you feel you can run to the left more so than to the right, and as a result, you have to stay with that plan. And you can't say, well, we ran there the last time, so we better run someplace else because they're going to stop us. You have to run there until they do stop you. And that was a great illustration of it. They got off the ball in good shape and picked up 5 yards.
Marion Campbell, who, of course, sending in the offense. There's Ted Marchibroda a different way with Jaworski out of there by shuttling in the fullback. Montgomery on the pitch. Good block by Leonard Mitchell. And Wilbert Montgomery takes it out to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short yardage for the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys are coming in with their 4-0 defense nonetheless. Dutton and Lockhart made the tackle for the Cowboys.
Running to the right is like trying to put perfume on a skunk. It doesn't do much good. You know?
I guess not. 3rd down and 3. Cowboys will go with that 4-0 defense just about any time, I guess.
Well, they put a lot of pressure on you, and the thing about it is you don't know whether they're going to be in zone, you don't know whether they're going to blitz, you don't know whether they're going to be man for man. As a result, it creates some indecision.
Don Smerick, number 60, is in for Dutton as part of that package. Pressure on Pisarcik. Smerick, the pass is caught by Spagnola and then lost. It's a fumble, and the Dallas Cowboys have recovered. Dexter Clinkscale on the recovery, and Victor Scott made the hit. A big defensive play again for the Dallas Cowboys.
Very obvious. You know, we touched on this earlier. They're going to go to Spagnola as much as they possibly can from their spread formation. They go to him again. He's open. He makes the catch. The ball is scraped loose from the backside. It's fumbled and recovered by Dexter Clinkscale. And now the Dallas Cowboys, just what we talked about earlier, they want to reduce the size of the field, and they have so far.
But to 30 yards, that's really reducing it. 1st and 10 at the 34 of the Eagles. Newsom and Dorsett split backs. Here's Dorsett with Hunt blocking, trying to cut inside. And Jerry Robinson and Anthony Griggs, the 2 inside linebackers, just wouldn't give him any room to run. Tony Dorsett, coming into the ball game, needs only 21 yards to reach the 1,000-yard mark for the 7th time in 8 years in the NFL.
It's unusual that the personality of the Cowboys has changed so much this year, but again, a great illustration of how the coaching staff takes advantage of their situation. They average 30 runs a game, 39 passes a game, which is way above what they normally like to do from a passing standpoint.
2nd down and 9. Tony Hill and Mike Renfro are out to the left, and Renfro comes in motion. Dorsett, not much. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 for the Cowboys. Anthony Griggs again is in on the tackle with help from Joel Williams, the outside linebacker.
You know, the Philadelphia Eagles use a zone defense, but it's a very tight zone defense, and their defensive backs and linebackers, they do not watch the quarterback like most zone teams do. They watch the receivers, and as a result, they play them a lot more tight than normal zone teams do.
Tony Hill goes out to the left. 7 defensive backs in there for the Eagles. 3rd down, close to 9. Here's Danny White up the middle, and it is almost picked off. It was deflected first by Duriel Harris, and Harris almost allowed an Eagle to pick it off. Elbert Fowles was defending Duriel Harris on the play. It'll be 4th down.
And I think whenever they get a chance, they're going to try to pick on Elbert Fowles, number 29. Not that he isn't a good player, but they think maybe because of his inexperience, they can work on him better than maybe some of the other defensive backs in the Philadelphia secondary.
So the Eagle defense holds following the 2nd turnover of the ball game, and now Danny White will kick from just inside the 50. Evan Cooper is deep for the Philadelphia Eagles.
If they have some kind of a gimmick play on this kick situation, we might see it. No, they don't.
That one is going to sail into the end zone for a touchback. So the Eagles escaped some danger following that fumble, but they'll get it back, trailing 7-0, 4:54 remaining in the first quarter. Stadium in Philadelphia on a perfect Sunday for football on this first weekend in December. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram reporting. The Cowboys lead 7-0, but the Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the 20. They've turned the ball over the first 2 times they've had the ball today, and one really cost them. Pisarcik. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Kenny Jackson. We talked about Jackson, the #1 draft pick out of Penn State, who was out 4 games with a shoulder separation, came back against the Cardinals last week, but did not get in. And with Mike Quick out of there, Hank, they're really going to have to rely on Jackson's speed today.
Yes, and I think the other thing that's very important, I think anytime that you roll out like Pisarcik did on that last play, the receiver has to give himself more room on the sideline because it takes a little time to get out to the outside. You either got to get inside more or deeper and then break outside. The timing of the pattern was not good.
2nd down and 10. Michael Haddix is the running back. Pressure. Dickerson coming in. Pisarcik loses the ball in the air, and it's going to be an incompleted pass. I don't know if anyone tipped it. It looked like Pisarcik just lost it, but maybe we'll get a closer look.
That ball just slipped right out of his hand, and that's the problem with a brand new ball. That ball is pretty slippery sometimes, and if you don't have a pretty good grip on it, it's going to slide right out of it. Look at this. He brings it back to throw it, and as he brings it back, it just falls right out of his hand.
3rd down and 10. We talked to Pisarcik in Friday's practice. He says, I've been in the game 11 years, Hank. He says, Ron and I are best friends, but this is my 2nd game, and I'm excited.
And Ron called him and wished him well and is pulling for him all the way.
That's not surprising, knowing Ron Jaworski. 3rd down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here comes the pressure on Pisarcik. And he overthrows Mel Hoover. Covering on the play was Everson Walls.
I tell you, they did a good job of picking up. They did a good job of picking up the blitz on the last play. The offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. There you see Clinkscale, number 47, coming. You see number 60 coming, Don Smerrick. But he hung in the pocket very well, and they picked up the blitzes extremely well.
Michael Horan having a good year, averaging nearly 42 yards a kick. Gary Allen is back for the Dallas Cowboys. The kick sends him to the 30. Here's Gary Allen to the 40 and gives the Cowboys good field position just about to the 45-yard line. We have 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dallas has had the field position, and they have the lead. Well, here's Ernie Stautner, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Hank, you spent some time with him last night.
Yeah, he talked about the game, of course, and related this one to the Buffalo game a couple of weeks ago that we did. He said he felt his team defensively is going to be very ready for the game. And it looks like they made some adjustments with their flex defense, and we'll talk about that as we go along.
I guess their defense has made some adjustments. They've done the job so far. 1st and 10 on the 44. Danny White's pass is caught by Tony Hill and out of bounds. It is a 1st down for Dallas, but right now for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, in this sequence, it's Patriots against Cardinals. Craig James hit by linebacker E.J. Jr., picked up by linebacker Thomas Howard, 29 yards. The Cardinals lead 14-0 over the Patriots. Back to Dick.
Thank you, Brent. And, of course, Neil Lomax threw a touchdown pass to Doug Marsh earlier for the first Cardinal score. It's 1st and 10 at the 44. Tony Hill, I guess, is figuring in the offense today. He wasn't so sure last night.
He didn't know what the plan was, but evidently he knows what it is now.
Here is Tony Dorsett trying to turn the corner to the 40. And out of bounds at the 34-yard line into Eagle territory. Ray Ellis coming up to make the stop. So the Cowboys, as Hank mentioned, trying to play on the shorter field, have done exactly that so far with 4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's really the only thing bad about the short field was the fact that they had the ball on a plus 35 and came away with no points. That's the important thing. You know, if you get good field position, that's fine, but you have to do something with it, and they didn't the last time they had the football.
And that was as a result of a fumble, recovery by Dexter Clinkscale. So Tom Landry's Cowboys have a 2nd down and 1 at the Philadelphia 35-yard line. Cowboys 8-5 on the year. Timmy Newsome In motion, play action on 2nd and 1. Penalty flag is down. Danny White gets hit, and the pass is intercepted by Reggie Wilkes. And he's tackled right away by Doug Cosby, the tight end, but there's a penalty flag down. If it's against Dallas, it'll be declined. Greg Brown put a terrific rush on Danny White. The roar of the crowd will indicate this call, and I think they have an idea already. It's against Dallas.
I'm surprised that Danny White threw that ball. Didn't have anything on it at all. It's a play-action fake, and he was trying to hit Newsome all the way across the field. Watch it now. They play-action fake. It's not a very good fake at all. Newsome is coming across from left to right, and he throws the ball. There's two people right by Newsome. He throws it short, and it's intercepted there. And now the Eagles have possession, 1st and 10.
And for Reggie Wilkes, his first interception of the '84 season. Notice we haven't had the graphics for a while, but we have the numbers and letters for you back. We're glad to tell you that. And with 4:05 to go, the Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. And, of course, that's a big turnover because Dallas had been dominating the game and taking advantage of every break until then.
See if they go left here.
They do, and it's Wilbert Montgomery banging off a tackler and going out to the 31-yard line. Good second effort by Montgomery with middle linebacker Eugene Lockhart making the play.
Watch the pursuit. Watch Lockhart coming over to make the play. Comes off the block in good shape. He's big and he's strong, and he winds up making the tackle. Went right through the blocker.
You know, the Washington Redskins, of course, on Thursday beat the Minnesota Vikings, and Joe Gibbs said Sunday we're going to be real fans and watch this game, and so we know Joe Gibbs and his team is watching this ball game. Here is Montgomery off the right side, and Michael Downs wrestles him down at the 35-yard line, about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. The Eagles, last 3 times, have had their problems. 2 of them have been turnovers, and they hope the 4th time is a little bit better as the clock running, nearly 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Well, the difference so far really has been the fact that the Cowboys have had much better field position than the Philadelphia Eagles, which is very obvious by the chart that we're just looking at.
Good to get him back, isn't it, Hank?
Yes, it is. It do help.
Jeff Rohr has replaced Anthony Dickerson at outside linebacker, number 50. 3rd down and 1. And Michael Haddix is hit behind the line, and a loss on the play by Randy White.
Boy, that's a long way to run for short yardage from the right side of the formation, the right side of the ball, all the way over to the left side. You have to hold your blocks an awful long time. That time they didn't, and for that reason they missed making the first down.
So on 3rd and 1, they fail to convert, and Michael Horan will be kicking to Gary Allen once again. Allen, low kick on the 26-yard line, will give the Dallas Cowboys decent field position again as he runs it out to the 41-yard line. Vito Cab making the tackle, a 14-yard return by Gary Allen. Well, in the month of December, CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will feature the nation Las Vegas against Georgetown.
They like to throw in front of Herman Edwards. Let's see if they do this on 1st and 10. There's some room over there. Now they're changing the coverage.
At the 41-yard line, Danny White has some time. Dumps it off to Timmy Newsome, who makes the catch back of the line of scrimmage. Jerry Robinson making the tackle. Newsome, of course, came back into the starting lineup for the Thanksgiving Day game against the Patriots when, in an effort to inject more offense, Doug Donnelly came in as well as Newsome.
Newsome is a big back. He's big and he's strong. He's got great speed. You know, he's a big play guy. I don't think he blocks nearly as well as Springs, but overall he's capable of making the big play.
They give him a yard, call it 2nd and 9 on the 42 with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys continue to play with that battered makeshift offensive line. White's pass off the fingertips of Tony Hill. Herman Edwards was coming in fast, but Hill just couldn't hold on.
One thing about the Eagle defensive backs, you might catch a ball in front of them, but if you do, you pay the price. You get no wholesale deal there because they really come up and ding you real well. And I think that time was a great illustration. I think Hill anticipated the hit and in the process lost the ball.
You mentioned the point about how Philadelphia defends in their zone, and that should be emphasized again.
Yes, they play the receiver and not the quarterback, and so they get a better jump on the ball than most teams who use the zone defense.
Duriel Harris, number 86, is the third wide receiver in the spread offense for the Cowboys. White to the sideline, incomplete. Tony Hill was the man he wanted to get to. Roynell Young, the nickelback, defending on the play. So far, the Philadelphia Eagles defense has played very, very well, and that's the way they've been playing lately.
And so has the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams are playing very, very well defensively, and both teams look very disjointed on offense. It looks kind of a grab bag kind of a style offensively. They haven't established any kind of continuity or any kind of a pattern so far.
Evan Cooper is back. Danny White to punt again with 1:08 remaining in the first quarter. The only score in the game came on a turnover. Cooper, fair catch on the 26-yard line. 7-0, the Dallas Cowboys lead. Dennis Thurman ran back an interception 38 yards on the first possession the Eagles had, and that's been the only score. The Eagles on offense at the 26. Philadelphia has only one first down so far. Pisarcik fires, caught. Spagnola to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18 yards. Downs and Lockhart finally brought him down.
Spagnola, their big gun, their tight end, they like him very much. An inside rush by Too Tall Jones. Spagnola just breaks into the middle area. That's his domain. That's where he wants to do business. And he gets the ball. Watch him. Watch Too Tall Jones trying to rush the passer on the inside. Dutton goes outside. Too Tall gets penetration, but the ball is thrown before he gets any progress.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line for the Eagles. This may be the last play or so of the first quarter. Pisarcik has time. His pass incomplete. John Spagnola, the intended receiver.
Boy, Lockhart made a good play. The middle linebacker getting a piece of the ball. He looked like he tried to loft the ball right over the top of Lockhart, but he jumped up there in great shape and made the play.
He messed up the timing on the pass, but you remember Spagnola told us the other day that the one thing Pisarcik has, of course, is the ability to feather the ball when he needs to, and that was an example of it. It just didn't work out for the Eagles.
Yeah, just didn't get enough air in the balloon that time to get it over the top.
11 seconds remaining, as you see, in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. They're at the 44. Pisarcik to Spagnola. First down, Eagles inside the 40-yard line. And time is going to run out in this quarter. Another 18-yard pickup. And the Philadelphia Eagles with their deepest penetration right now. Lockhart and Dickerson the tackle.
Dickerson that time had him look like man for man. But Spagnola's a big, strong tight end. He knocked him off course, came on the inside. Dickerson comes in afterwards late to make the play, but the damage was already done by John Spagnola coming off the line of scrimmage.
Having a fine first quarter as it comes to an end. 4 receptions for Spagnola. The Cowboys lead at 7-0 and will be back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 7-0 as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. Deepest penetration right now for the Eagles, and Joe Pisarcik 4 for 9 in the first quarter. Hank, all 4 of his passes to John Spagnola, the tight end.
And the big surprise so far really has been the fact that the offensive line has done such a good job of pass blocking for Joe Pisarcik.
That line has been intact the last 6 weeks. Wilbert Montgomery backs his way up to about the 42-yard line, a gain of about 2, 2nd down and 8.
And the Eagles have had the ball 8 times on 1st and 10. They have passed 3 times and have run 5. Pretty good balance.
Ball at the 38-yard line. As Montgomery goes out of the ball game, Michael Haddix is in there. Spagnola coming in with a career high with 49 catches, 4 so far. MVP on offense. Big comeback year for Joe. Pressure on Pisarcik, and he's going to go down. White. First sack of the ball game, and last week against the Patriots, Tony Eason was sacked 10 times by the Dallas defense.
Mike Hegman, number 58, was blitzing from the outside. We just got through talking about how good the pass protection was. Here's Hegman. Look at number 58. No, but he doesn't get in there. It was Randy White again. I thought Hegman blitzing on the play was a man who made the tackle, but it was Randy White again.
But I'm sure Hegman blitzing had to have a factor on Pisarcik.
He saw him coming, no question about that.
Third down and 15. Loss of 6 on the play. The ball is back at the 44-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Here comes Randy White again. The pass is dumped off and incomplete. Wilbert Montgomery, the intended receiver. Looked like Pisarcik was just trying to push that ball to Montgomery. Bates covering on the play.
Watch there, Annette. Here comes Randy White coming all the way around the outside, and he gets free. Nobody picks him up. But Pisarcik didn't see him coming, feathered the ball nicely, but it looked like he kind of aimed the ball a little bit instead of throwing it. And as a result, it was just a little bit short, and Montgomery was not able to pick it up, and also Bates really covered well on the play.
Gary Allen is back. Mike Moran will punt from his 40-yard line. Dallas has had good field position so far. Not been able to capitalize on it. Neither of the Cowboys have been able to take advantage. Defense is dominating here. Moran. Kick goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Dallas Cowboys will take it out on the 20-yard line with less than 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. In the big game in New York between the Jets and the Giants, a lot at stake for the Giants. No score there in the second quarter of that battle. New England is on the board, but the Cardinals lead 14-3 in the second quarter. Former Eagle Tony Franklin kicked the field goal for the Patriots. 49ers trying to nail down the home field advantage for all the playoff games lead Atlanta.
Well, they're hot, and they're playing very, very well in all phases. Their offense, defense, and especially team.
First and 10 at the 20. Here's Tony Dorsett head down. Loses the ball, and the Eagles, I believe, have recovered. They have. Ray Ellis made the recovery. That secondary is awfully physical. Tony Dorsett is still on the ground.
Boy, somebody got in there and really got a great shot. I don't know whether it's Anthony Griggs or who it was, but somebody used their shoulder pads as well as you can use them and delivered a tough blow on Tony Dorsett.
You know, this secondary really takes pride in the way they're hitting. I don't know if it was a secondary here.
Here they go, pulling. Right guard pulling, running off to the right side. Jerry Robinson is blocked to the outside. Oh, there's a late hit. It was Ray Ellis, number 24, came in there from the safety position.
Griggs was there, but Ellis really delivered the smack that we could hear all the way up here. Ray Ellis and Wes Hopkins about as hard as hitters as you'll see in a secondary, and that includes the San Francisco 49ers, who are known for having a physical secondary. Dorsett is still shaken up, and we're going to take a break here in the second quarter. Dallas Cowboys, Tony Dorsett really took a hit and now is getting up, and he's got to be thinking cobwebs right now. Crowd, some of them give him a hand. He's gained 11 yards and 5 carries so far, and boy, Ray Ellis really gave him a lick on that play.
Here he's coming to the outside. Look, he's going right through the hole. And as he comes through here, he's hit straight ahead in the head, knocks the helmet loose. Ray Ellis really gives him a good shot.
So Dorsett, who came into the game, as we said, needing 21 yards to reach 1,000. But the Eagles have the ball.
Glad to see Tony Dorsett get up and walk off the field like he did, however.
First and 10 for the Eagles on the Cowboy 24. Wilbert Montgomery is the running back. This is the deepest penetration the Eagles have had as a result of the fumble. Here is Montgomery. He's going to throw the ball. He's going into the end zone, and the pass is overthrown. Michael Haddix had beaten Michael Downs, but Montgomery's pass was too long. You remember, Hank, that the Cowboys beat the Eagles earlier in the year, the game we covered, on a flea flicker, on a pass from Mike Renfro to Doug Donnelly, as Dorsett rests on the sideline.
Yeah, that pass wasn't even close. He threw it way into the end zone. The guy at the end of the right against the fence, the cameraman had a good chance to catch it, but he's the only one.
And I don't know if he has good hands.
No, I don't think so.
2nd and 10 at the 24.
I saw him drop the camera on the way up.
Hubie Oliver is the fullback. Play action for Pisarcik. Up the middle, caught. Spagnola again. Spagnola does not have a first down. He gets to the 17-yard line. Michael Downs making the hit as Pisarcik took a hit himself.
Spagnola isn't wearing gloves. He might have to wear some before the afternoon's over with. His hands will be sore.
That's his 5th catch of the ball game. Talked about the different styles. He said that Pisarcik and Ron Jaworski have similar throwing styles. Dorsett working on him. 3rd and 3 at the 17 of Dallas. Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-0 early in the 2nd quarter. Pisarcik up the middle, caught, first down. Guess who? Yep, Spagnola inside the 5. Victor Scott and Michael Downs make the tackle. That's a 14-yard gain. Pisarcik to John Spagnola.
And Spagnola really made a good move. He came off the line of scrimmage. Watch him on the left side here. He comes off the line of scrimmage, makes an inside move, then cruises to the outside and runs right through the arms of Victor Scott, number 22, and gets extra yardage on the play. Really a great move by the part of John Spagnola, the fine tight end.
I'm beginning to think he's a primary receiver in the Philadelphia offense today.
That's what I like about you. You make great observations.
The Eagles are going to call a timeout. They're using one of their first half 3 right here. They have 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. Philadelphia trying to tie this ball game up. 11:58 to go. Scram here in Philadelphia. Sell out at Veterans Stadium. 1st and goal at the 4 for the Eagles, who trail 7-0. Dennis Thurman intercepted a Joe Pisarcik pass and ran 38 yards, and that's been the only score. We've already had 4 turnovers in the ball game. And following a Dorsett fumble, the Eagles are trying to capitalize. Tom Landry knows his team has to play to the ultimate every week. Oliver and Haddix are the 2 running backs. In motion is Spagnola. And here is Michael Haddix, and Randy White comes from behind and throws him down, and a flag is also tossed down on the play. Can't have a better year than Randy White is having.
He's amazing, and it was fun to talk to him yesterday because he comes up with the right answers all the time. You know, we talked about playing against different people. He said, listen, he's a professional football player. He's in the National Football League. He wouldn't be playing if he wasn't good, so that's the way I approach it. Everybody's the same. I play the same way against everybody.
The flag will be picked up. There was no foul.
Watch Randy White come through the gap. They missed a block on him. The one thing you have to make sure you block him, but he took an outside charge right through the gap and came through and made the tackle. Beautiful play by Randy White.
Loss of 2 yards. Dallas's defense really plugs up when it comes down to short yardage at the goal line.
And Stockner said, we're going to play better, we're going to play tough, and they're doing that so far.
3 tight ends in for Philadelphia. Play action, Pisarcik. His pass, a little bit too hard, I think, for Spagnola. He was alone in the back of the end zone, and most of the passes have been directed his way. 10 out of 13 to be exact.
Watch Spagnola come off the line of scrimmage. Pretends it like he's going to block Clinkscale and then goes to the inside. He's there. Threw it too hard and went right through. He ought to catch that kind of a ball. It doesn't make a difference how hard it is. He ought to catch that.
And maybe that's what he's telling Pisarcik as they break the huddle. 3rd down and goal at the 6. 11:50 to go, 2nd quarter. 7-0 Cowboys. A lot of men at the line. Pisarcik. Pass. Incomplete. Hubie Oliver was the intended receiver, and the Eagles, Pisarcik going over. Bill Bates defending on the play, complaining a foul against Dallas, but no go.
Pisarcik waited too long to throw the ball into the flat to Hubie Oliver. He was open for a long time. By the time he decided to throw the ball, it was too late, and Bates came over number 40 and made the play.
So rookie Paul McFadden, who had a bittersweet game last week. He set a new club season field goal mark with his 26th, but missed a fourth-quarter field goal that cost the Eagles the ball game. This will be a 23-yard attempt with Pisarcik holding. And the kick is good, and the Eagles score with 11:42 remaining in the second quarter. It's been a defensive game. Both sides playing well, and it's now 7-3. We'll be back with the Philadelphia kickoff. Remaining in the second quarter, Philadelphia is on the scoreboard, trailing now 7-3, and Paul McFadden will be kicking off for the Philadelphia Eagles. Chuck McSwain and Gary Allen. There's Allen back for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, the Dallas offense has managed only one touchdown in the last 9+ quarters. So as Hank mentioned, their defense has kept them in business. Going over to McSwain at the 9-yard line. McSwain is hit by Sampleton at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Cowboys take over 1st and 10. Lawrence Sampleton on the play. Well, next Saturday, the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern time, and then the Minnesota Vikings take on the San Francisco 49ers. And Hank, it'll give our viewers a chance to see this marvelous team you were talking about, them excelling in every phase. Only one loss this year. You'll see the 49ers 12:30 Eastern next Saturday.
Well, they're a well-tuned football team, I tell you. They're in sync, and they've got good rhythm, and they're moving like gangbusters.
They're leading 14-3 over Atlanta, and Joe Montana has thrown 2 touchdown passes today. 1st and 10 at the 30. Danny White wide open is James Jones, and he picks up a 1st down and is out of bounds close to midfield. A 19-yard pickup, James Jones.
Somebody had to blow the coverage on the play. He looked like he ran right out of the bleachers that time. He was so open. In fact, I started to count the people. I thought maybe he was the 12th man the way he was broke out into the flat area. Nobody around him whatsoever, and he picks up a big 1st down on the play.
He's been in the offense mostly on passing situations, replacing Dorsett. Now it looks like he's going to see a lot more action with Tony on the sidelines. Ron Springs is with Jones in the backfield. 1st and 10.
Look at all the room over here with Tony Hill.
Jones hit immediately by Ken Clark. You want to talk about the Philadelphia defense and their fine play as of late. Ken Clark, terrific defensive player, voted MVP by his teammates on defense for this year.
And Marion Campbell has always had a great reputation as a defensive coach, and talking to Landry and the Cowboys, they all have great respect for this man right here, Marion Campbell, calling the defensive from the sideline. He's one of the very outstanding defensive coaches, I think, in the National Football League.
2nd down and 9. White up the middle. Ron Springs drops it. He was open. Green Bay trailing Tampa Bay 7-0. The Buccaneers are looking for a sweep over the Packers if they can win that game. And the Denver Broncos headed for the playoffs over Kansas City 7-0 in the second quarter at Arrowhead Stadium. Buffalo 21, Indianapolis 2 in the second quarter. Bills are going with Joe Dufek, quarterback they like for the future.
Yeah, they talked about him a couple of weeks ago, like him very much. Pittsburgh 3, Houston 0.
It'll be 3rd and 9, just short of midfield for Dallas. Danny White's pass, and a receiver fell down. Defending on the play, Elbert fouls. The intended receiver was Duriel Harris, and he fell down, and the ball went whistled right past him, so it'll be 4th down, and the Eagles defense holds again.
Watch Duriel Harris, number 86, coming off the line of scrimmage. He's got fouls on the inside, makes an inside move, and then slips. He tried to cut on his left foot that time, and I think that's a great illustration. You have to cut on your right foot when you're going to go to the left side to get better balance. He didn't have the balance, and slipped and fell on the play.
Danny White kicking toward the sideline. Evan Cooper calls for the fair catch at the 17-yard line. It's like one of those old Southeast Conference games with Mississippi and LSU back in the 50s. Field position and defense dominated. Defensive battle, Hank. 7-3 Dallas in front.
There's a lot of good hitting going on, that's for sure.
Ball at the 17-yard line. Joe Pisarcik. He's replaced Jaworski in relief 3 times prior to last weekend's game against the Cardinals, so he has seen action this year. And in the pass, pitch to Montgomery with Hubie Oliver blocking, but not much on the play. Hegman and Dickerson, the outside linebackers.
I'm surprised they went ahead with that play that time. The strong safety was on the line of scrimmage almost, and they had it was like having an extra linebacker on that side. It's hard to make that kind of a play go, and they didn't. Really kind of a wasted play.
No gain, 2nd down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Giants have jumped ahead of the Jets 7-0 on a touchdown run, 1 yard from Rob Carpenter with 3:44 to go in the 2nd quarter. Pisarcik under siege, pass is caught by Spagnola, close to a 1st down. At the 28-yard line, Michael Downs makes the tackle. What a game Spagnola's having, 7 catches.
Well, that time Klingscale was on the outside again. There's a good pattern. They bring him all the way across the field. You see, in the weak safety, Michael Downs has to cover him, and he makes the play, but it's too late. And Spagnola makes enough yardage to come very, very close, within inches of the 1st down.
It'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Haddix, the back. Hubie Oliver. Michael Haddix appears to have the 1st down. Too Tall Jones and Randy White were there, but right now, for an NFL Today report, here is Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, finally, we've got a score in that game for the bragging rights to New York, and it is Rob Carpenter, his 7th touchdown of the season. The Giants add the extra point. They lead the Jets 7-0. Back to Dick.
Thank you very much, Brent. It is a 1st down for the Eagles, just shy of the 30-yard line. We have 8.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Only 1 touchdown, and that was made by the defense. Dennis Thurman on a 38-yard interception.
And I see another pass here on 1st and 10.
Hubie Oliver, 34, the lone setback. Pisarcik has time, and the pass is dropped by Wilbert Montgomery. He was there and just dropped it at the 45-yard line. Michael Downs was the closest defender.
And he made a good move. He went right down, 2 downs, and then came back for the ball, but it hit him right in the chest, and he dropped the football. Bounced right out of there. It didn't look like he had his hands on the football. It hit his shoulder pads and bounced right out of there.
Montgomery's had a good year as a receiver. He has caught 50 passes, which matches his career high. But not that time. And it's 2nd down and 10 at the 29. That's Pisarcik's work so far today, most of them. In fact, all of them have been to John Spagnola, the tight end. Caught by Spagnola at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 or 4. Michael Downs again on the tackle.
See, Spagnola's big and he's strong, and he fights right through. Watch the linebacker trying to hold him up, but he's strong enough. Look at it. He brings up his left arm, fights right through the linebacker, Dickerson, and then breaks to the inside, right by the numbers, and he makes the catch, and Downs finally makes the tackle. The Spagnola is 6'4", 240.
Well, Spagnola and Downs are really getting to know each other in this 1st half, if they didn't already. It'll be 3rd down and long 2 for the Eagles with 7:25 to go in the half. Pressure and a blitz, and there he goes. Randy White. Dutton followed up, but it was Randy White, and that'll be the 2nd sack of the ball game for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Eagles will have to punt the ball.
Randy White again, number 54. Number 73 trying to block him, Steve Kinney. He makes an inside move, runs right by him, and makes the penetration and makes the tackle. But he's so quick. He's deceptively quick, strong, and also fast. That's a great combination. Plus the fact that he's got a great Valentine. He really loves to play.
Michael Horan will kick. Gary Allen is back for the Cowboys. Good punt again by Horan, sending Allen back to the 29-yard line. And he he brings it out to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Rich Kranek. That was a 12-yard return and a good 43-yard punt by Mike Horan. Of course, is in the backfield. Tony Dorsett, when he fumbled, suffered a concussion. He's not going to be back the rest of the first half, and hopefully the Cowboys will have him after intermission.
I'm surprised they haven't done much with Cosby so far.
At the 42, first and 10, and the pass is intercepted by the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's Wes Hopkins. We've had 5 turnovers, and Danny White, interception. Hopkins.
Watch Wes Hopkins come into the picture. What great anticipation. You talk about playing the center field position. Boy, he comes through there in great shape. White's got plenty of time to throw the football. He finally delivers the ball. But watch Wes come right in. Great anticipation. Got a good jump on the ball and comes up for the interception. Number 48.
His third of the season, and Mike Renfro was the intended receiver right here, number 82.
Albert Fowles, number 29, is on the inside. But there's Wes Hopkins. Played his collegiate football at SMU, and he's one of the very, very best. And he deserves the right to play in that Pro Bowl this year.
And I think he likes playing against the Dallas Cowboys. First and 10 at the 48. Hubie Oliver in motion. Montgomery on the pitch. Looks like he may want to throw again. Now he's running for his life. But he gets into Dallas territory to the 48-yard line. Make it the 49. Good ad-lib by Wilbert Montgomery on the busted pass attempt. Lockhart and Hegman made the tackle on Wilbert.
There's a great illustration of experience. In most cases, when you ask the halfback to throw the ball, regardless, it's supposed to be an option, but regardless, they're going to throw the football regardless of what the situation is going to be. That time he exercised good judgment, had no chance whatsoever to deliver the throw, and kept it and tried to get as much out of the play as he possibly could. Good discretion on the part of Wilbert Montgomery.
And he picked up 4 yards. Second down and 6 at the Dallas 48. Here comes Hegman again, and Pisarcic's pass is overthrown. He was going for Vito Cab, but he was just trying to get rid of the ball, I'm sure. Downs was defending, but Hegman came storming in again, and Pisarcic is saying, I think I liked it better when I was watching from the sideline.
Well, that time, you know, there again, a good old pro. He knew he was going to get pressure, and he threw the ball away so he would avoid the sack. The one thing you don't want to do is wind up with 3rd and 20, 3rd and 18. That's where it's really murder.
You know, Ron Jaworski's record of 116 consecutive starts, longest active broken today. He wanted to come to the game and he couldn't, and we know he's watching this game. It's our best tool.
I called him before the game and he was sleeping. I talked to his wife and she said he'd get along fine.
Here's Tony Woodruff with a first down at the 38-yard line, an 11-yard pickup. Victor Scott, and finally Pisarcik finds someone else to throw to. That's Spagnola.
1-for-1 coverage. Woodruff breaks to the inside. Scott, number 22, didn't look like he saw the ball at all, was just satisfied to make the tackle, which he did. It's a good thing he did. Had he not made the tackle, it'd have been the bye-bye Blues. They'd have gone all the way.
And Michael Downs was blitzing on the play, so good reaction by Pisarcik. Tony Woodruff has caught 3 touchdown passes this year. It's 1st and 10 Philadelphia on the Dallas 38. 5:15 on the clock in the second quarter. Pisarcik swings it out to Oliver. Here comes Lockhart. And he had some help by Hegman as well, and a loss on the play.
He threw that ball poorly that time. He threw it over the wrong shoulder. As a result, Oliver had to turn around completely and get himself righted on the play. By the time he did that, school was out. He was tackled on the play.
And Tony Dorsett is now back out of the dressing room on the field. Tony Hill talking with him now, and of course, the Cowboys really hope that Tony feels he can do it in the second half. Loss on the play of 4 yards. Second down and 14. Back to the 42.
I'm impressed with the way Pisarcik is playing here this afternoon so far.
Flags fly, and might have been a problem, obviously, in the communication, the handoff between the center and the quarterback, and that may be 5 yards against the Eagles. Bob Frederick will tell us.
False start. Offense, number 9.
So it'll be second down and 19, the Eagles. And that's good coaching, I think, Hank, for a team not to be penalized so much. I think that's a feather in the cap for Marion Campbell's staff.
No question about that. He's a disciplined guy. and yet he's a compassionate guy. He's got a good feel, relates to the players very, very well, but he knows what he wants to get done and gets it done very, very in good style.
2nd and 19 back of the 47. The Eagles would like to get in position to at least try a field goal. Pisarcik going to try and pick up some yards right there. He was going for Spagnola. Bates defending on the play, incomplete.
Spagnola that time was backing up when the ball was in flight instead of coming back for the ball. Had he come back for the ball to the ball, he'd have had a chance to make the play. He was backing up, however, and had no chance whatsoever. Unusual for him because he makes that kind of a play very well.
John will be going out of the ball game now. 3rd down and 19. Woodruff, Kenny Jackson, and Mel Hoover are the 3 wide receivers in there. Jackson and Hoover to the top of your screen.
Now they got a 3-man rush, 3-man line, I should say. And here's Randy White playing as a linebacker in the middle.
Pisarcik completes the pass to Haddix at the 42-yard line. It'll be way short, and they're not going to be able to try the field goal, and Horan will come in to punt. Bill Bates and Everson Walls defend again. So defense continues to maintain the spotlight in this game.
And that time they had Randy White, as I mentioned to you. They had a 3-man line, and he was off the line of scrimmage, playing a middle linebacker, trying to get good penetration on a blitz situation. Horan should try to kick the ball to his right. He's a left-footed kicker. Should try to kick it to his right, because if it slides off his foot, it would go right down the middle of the field. If he tries to kick it left, it's likely to slide off his foot and be a bad kick. Let's see where he kicks it.
Listen to you. Gary Allen, fair catch. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. Into the end zone, touchback. And Dallas will take over 1st and 10. There've been 5 turnovers in the ball game. One of them resulted in the only touchdown we've had, a Dennis Thurman interception. Another fumble by Tony Dorsett resulted in a field goal, but the defenses have held. Well, of course, as we told you, Thursday night, the Washington Redskins defeated the Minnesota Vikings, holding off a late rally. Here, of course, the Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-3. The Giants are leading the Jets in the 2nd quarter, and the Cardinals are over New England 20-3 in a big game for them. And we'll tell you about what's coming up next week.
And how about a great job that Archie Manning did last week against the Washington Redskins in the 2nd half?
He's got to be in there now, wouldn't you think?
Yep, I would think so.
Here's Timmy Newsom going around the end to the 26-yard line. So you saw the scores as they affect the NFC East. Here are the standings. Washington, of course, having already won. Those are the division records. So if they end up in a tie, the division record would count. And right now the Giants have things in their own hands. The Giants will play in St. Louis in the first of our doubleheader next Sunday. Cardinals leading. That game appears to be a very important battle. Some of you will see Green Bay and Chicago, those of you in the Midwest. And our Atlanta viewers will see the Falcons against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tell you about the 2nd game, and a big one after this play.
Again, I'm surprised they haven't used Cosby at all so far, and they're using his own defense. Usually the tight end is involved in that kind of a plan.
Timmy Newsom is stopped by Greg Brown. Good play by Greg Brown. It'll be 3rd down. And, of course, the 2nd game of our NFL doubleheader, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, a big one as it always is now. That rivalry. Check your local listings. The 2nd game next week, Hank.
That's always a dogfight, and of course, talking to Washington earlier in the week, they're very, very excited about playing the Cowboys. And of course, Philadelphia, talking to them and talking to Stotner. Stotner said, you know, the Eagles hate the Cowboys, and I don't blame them. That's what he said.
And the Redskins may hate them even more.
That's right.
Here's Jones. Close to a 1st down at the 30-yard line. Herman Edwards making the tackle. It was 3rd down and 5, and a good call by Danny White. James Jones off left tackle. And the Dallas Cowboys have a 1st down.
Watch number 62, Baldinger, blocking on the play, creates a big hole, and Jones, number 23, pops right through there for a nice game.
And when we say a good call by Danny White, of course, the play's coming in from the bench and Tom Landry, but Danny White has to execute it. We're having our 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes remain in the first half at Veterans Stadium. It's been a defensive battle from the start. The Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-3. Second quarter, and Hank, we just saw Tom Landry sending in a running play on 3rd and 5 and getting a first down. And of course, you've been on the sidelines. What's the story with the plays coming in from the sideline?
Well, that's the nice thing about calling them from the sideline. You know, the coach calls those plays, and he understands and knows what the game plan is. Players really don't know. Just like Hill yesterday, he said, I really don't know what my role is going to be. I won't know till the game starts. I talked to Ernie Stotner. He said, I don't know what I'm going to call until the game's underway, and I get a feel of what's going on, then I'll call accordingly. So that's what happens with the game plan.
Ron springs in motion. Newsom is the running back. 1st and 10. Danny White intercepted by Herman Edwards. If he held on to it. And now they say he did not, so it'll go as an incompleted pass. He did not have possession and very nearly picked that ball off. Intended for Tony Hill, I believe.
Here again, great illustration of those gloves. I don't like the gloves, and I think maybe he might have caught the ball had he not had the gloves on. Look at, he's flopping the ball around, playing ping pong with it, and it finally falls incomplete.
Danny White is 5 of 15 for 45 yards. He has thrown 2 interceptions on the year. On the game, 2nd down and 10. Pressure. Jones and Ken Clark made a terrific play. He's a nose tackle, and he was following the running back on the screen pass.
He was the cop on the play. He was a policeman, and we were right out there when he saw the guy ready to make the catch. He gave him a ticket. Knocked the ball down in great shape. A great play by Ken Clark, number 71.
You know, he has 8.5 sacks, and that's a lot for a nose tackle, but he told us at practice Friday, he said, you know, I used to be the designated pass rusher on the team when Charlie Johnson was the nose tackle, so he's been doing it.
Look at the size of him. You think he's big enough? Look at him. Number 71.
Like Patrick Ewing, he can do whatever he wants.
That's right.
3rd down and 10 at the 31. Doug Donnelly, Tony Hill, Duriel Harris are the wide receivers. Hill out to the left for the Cowboys. White flushed out, being chased, and the pass is intercepted by Ray Ellis. Fumble. Gets it back, and Hank, I think an Eagle tried to run with it before instead of falling on it.
That's the thing. Don't be a hero. Fall on the ball. Just make sure we get possession with good field position. Don't try to pick it up, because usually they kick it around and never get the fall on the ball at all and wind up losing possession. I've really never seen Danny White have this kind of an afternoon. He's really had a bad afternoon. He threw this ball, had no chance whatsoever on the move. He's running to the right, throwing it back across the grain. The only guy that's open is Ellis, number 24. He makes the interception, runs down the sideline. Hill is in hot pursuit. He doesn't, he cuts back to the inside, gets hit from the backside by Springs. The ball is knocked loose, and there it is. And you see Harvey Armstrong, 96. He tries to be a hero, pick it up and run with it. He should have just fallen on the ball.
Here's Timmy Newsom carrying the ball on 1st down with 1:25 showing. Herb Scott recovered the fumble for the Dallas Cowboys. We have had 7 turnovers, as you see, in the first half of this ball game, and Danny White has thrown 3 interceptions, but the 1 interception thrown by Joe Pisarcik resulted in the touchdown. And there's Herb Scott making his 3rd start at left tackle for Howard Richards. He made the recovery. Under a minute to go in the first half. Newsom again to the 28-yard line, 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Evan Cooper makes the play.
You know, I talked to Dennis Harrison. We both talked to him yesterday and asked him why the defense has improved so much and why the rush has been so much better. He said, you know, we were insulted by the St. Louis Cardinal quarterback, Neil Lomax. When we played him the last time, he said that he had enough time to throw the ball, to eat a sandwich and drink a Coke. That really infuriated us, and we've been much, much better since then.
They don't like to hear that.
No, I don't think they do.
Bill Posterek comes in at right tackle on passing down. Here is Ron Springs, 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys, and goes out of bounds with 14 seconds showing on the clock. An 11-yard pickup to the 40-yard line. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today, Brent Nerve will have scores and highlights, and of course, Opportunity Knox, meaning Chuck Knox, the Seattle Seahawks, who have done so well in heading for the playoffs, again, in a terrific defensive team. Seconds to go, 1st and 10. Danny White drills it, incomplete. Doug Donnelly was the intended receiver. 9 seconds remain.
There's another illustration of how well they covered from their zone defense, and there again, they're watching the receivers more than they are the quarterback, and they respond very, very well to what they see.
Very fine secondary. Ellis and Hopkins, the two safeties, have already picked off Danny White passes today. Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker, had the other interception. Eagles, as usual, going to the air a lot. 2nd and 10. Dallas struggling that way. Ron Springs changes direction. And he's down at the 49-yard line as the first half comes to a close. Nope, 1 second showing. And the Cowboys call a timeout with 1 second to go, so we'll have one last play. Danny White will go to the sidelines to talk to Tom Landry. And White, by the way, Hank, has thrown 7 straight passes without a completion.
Very unusual for him. It really is. I think what they might do here is put maybe 3 wide receivers on one side, or either balance the formation with 2 on each side and throw the ball deep downfield and hope maybe they get into pass interference or they get some kind of a tip ball to make some kind of a big play before the half.
Why the timeout now and not the other times that they had an opportunity?
There again, that's just up to the quarterback and up to the coach. You never know what the strategy is, really. I'm surprised they didn't want to take one before now, but here again, at least they got one more shot. Maybe that's what they're going to do.
Well, with 1 second left, I don't think we're going to see the timeout's a factor anymore. It'll be 3rd down and 2, which is also not a factor, with 1 second to go.
You either decide you're going to sit in the football and forget about it, or try to get the ball downfield, and I think it's worth the gamble. If it's intercepted, so what? The half is over with, and you might always come up. You always have a chance to make a big play. If you lay on the ball, you got no chance whatsoever.
3 wide receivers for the Cowboys.
Here they come.
Hill, Harris, and Renfro, and all lined up on the same side. Cosby is at the right at the top of the screen. Last play of the first half, barring a penalty on the Eagles. Danny White, Hail Mary, knocked down by Herman Edwards as the first half comes to an end. Well, the Cowboys are in for a struggle here. The Eagles defense giving them everything they can handle, but then Dallas defense is not allowed a touchdown. 7-3. We'll be back with Brent in the NFL Today.
Irv, let me remind everybody, a special NFL game next Saturday on CBS. It's Minnesota against the San Francisco 49ers at 3:30 Eastern Time. The 49ers, one of the elite teams of the NFL, like several others out on the West Coast. And you know, last year in their first season under Coach Chuck Knox, the Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs for the first time behind a strong running attack that became known as Ground Chuck. And this season, the Seahawks, with an 11-2 record, are even better. And they're winning this year behind an alert and aggressive defense that has given Seattle a new nickname, Opportunity Knox.
Here's Suey in motion through the formation. Avellini's back for the pass. Straightens up, throws out in the flat. Caught by Suey. The ball's knocked away. Scramble for it in the end zone. Seahawks recover. Touchdown, Seahawks.
The Seahawks are second in the league in sacks. They lead in fumble recoveries and interceptions. Yet whatever the Seattle defense does, the spotlight in the NFL focuses elsewhere, further south.
Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins are the state-of-the-art in offensive attacks in the National Football League. The last defense to come into the Orange Bowl and shut them down, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks have not slowed down this year.
Our defense has played very, very aggressively, getting people to the football, hustling and hitting, and being very opportunistic.
We're not a big bunch of guys, but you know, we play with pride and we play with hustle, and you know, we just let it all hang out.
Letting it all hang out too much was the Seahawks' story last season. In Knox's first year as coach, their 3-4 defense gave up the most yards in the AFC. So this season, they went back to work, and practice has made the Seahawks perfect.
the players do understand a lot better what we're trying to get done this year, and when they understand and are enthused about it, you're going to get better performances.
We're going to challenge them. Everybody's got to give everything they got. No offsides, run like hell. We got to set the pace. Here we go.
The Seahawks have transmitted that enthusiasm into effectiveness, forcing the most turnovers in football. When they hit, it hurts. And the result is often a loose football.
I think it's smart defense, picking your shots, knowing when to take the ball away, when to go for the ball. We're saying to ourselves in our huddle, touchdown will beat us. And that's where pride comes in, that you will not allow the team to get in for a touchdown to beat you. Success breeds happiness, and we're successful this season, and certainly we're playing with a great deal of emotion, and we're happy about the things that we've been able to accomplish this season.
If there is a star in Seattle, it's Easley. His 8 interceptions are tied with teammate Dave Brown for the league lead. His future, limitless.
He's got speed, quickness, agility, great hands, intelligence, great attitude. When Kenny Easley volunteered to return punts after Paul Johns went down, it was the first time in the 31 years that I've been coaching that I've ever had a starter volunteer to return punts. That's not a job that people line up to want to do.
Easley's gung-ho attitude permeates this Seahawk roster, and that intangible has propelled them into the NFL's elite.
This is really a special group to me because they're fun to be around, and, it makes coaching so much more enjoyable when you're working with people that come out on Sunday and give the very, very best they have to give, and I've enjoyed it.
That's tough. You made Tom Catlin.
He was an assistant coach when I was out in the Rams with George Allison. And one of the things that George emphasized in our playbook is he had a section on how to take the ball away. Force fumbles, interceptions. When you force a fumble, first guy hits the runner with the helmet. The other guy punches the ball out. Catlin and all that
Once
stuff
he talks defensive football, he's gone, folks. The scoreboard, you want to know what's happened. The 49ers defense, they just posted 7 more. It is now 21-10. It has been pouring down there in Atlanta, but it hasn't bothered the 49ers, Irv.
Not at all. The 49ers love to play in the rain. It rains so much out there in San Francisco. Montana going deep this time to Freddie Solomon and hit him for a 64-yard touchdown. The defensive back, by the way, slipped and fell. That's why it was so open.
All right, Jimmy the Greek reports that Dan Henning will return next year as the Atlanta Falcon coach despite their problems this season. Here's Montana on the sprint. The defenders in this sequence went for Freddie Solomon, an easy touchdown pass. And Big Hands Johnson moments ago ran in a defensive touchdown, and it was 21-10. Denver and Kansas City, and John Elway has gone 48 yards to Steve Watson in that game. The Broncos lead at the half 10-7. Buffalo all over Indianapolis, 21-9. They are in the second quarter of that game. Tampa Bay shutting out Green Bay. Nasty weather up there in Packerland today. It is 7-0. Touchdown pass by James Wilder to Edger Armstrong. Warren Moon has just tossed a touchdown pass for the Oilers. It is 13-3. The Oilers are beating the Steelers, and the Oilers could indeed be a team of the future in the AFC Central. Speaking of the AFC Central, they're already in the third quarter in this one, and it is 10-7, Browns over the Bengals. St. Louis dominating New England. The score here surprises me, not so much that the Cardinals are winning the game, but Irv, they have done it so very easily.
The Cardinals have moved the ball all year long, Brent. They sort of self-destruct by giving the ball away. This time, Neil Lomax rolls to his right and found Doug Marsh in the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown strike.
Jim Hannafin, of course, knows the Cardinals have to win this to stay within a game of Washington, and who knows which other teams in the NFC East are going to win. Here comes their defensive touchdown. Thomas Howard scooping up the fumble by Craig James. James, incidentally, later turned in a 73-yard run from scrimmage. They didn't score on it. Otis Anderson then taking the handoff, driving in for the touchdown. And again, so far up in Foxborough, this game has gone all the Cardinals' way. And, of course, you're watching Dallas and Philadelphia, and 7-3, and we certainly hope that Tony Dorsett is not seriously injured and can come back in that game in a second. But, Irv, what about that Eagle defense?
Well, everybody down in Philadelphia has great pride in their defense. Their defensive backs and linebackers really come after you. They've been playing well all year long. And, of course, that hit on Dorsett in the first quarter was really devastating. Knocked him out of the ballgame.
How about the Jets and the Giants? Let's show you how that game is unfolding. The Giants lead over in the Meadowlands, 10-0. They need this one to stay in first place. Defensive battle, Mark Gastineau and Lawrence Taylor, and the Jets should have scored first.
It was a bad omen for the Jets early. Bobby Humphrey is wide open, and the ball simply skidded right through his fingers, incomplete.
Now here come the defenders. Joe Klecko and Mark Gastineau. They're going to get to Phil Simms this time before he can get the pass off. Pat Leahy had his 36-yard field goal attempt blocked by Elms Patterson. There was a very controversial field goal here. What was the sequence?
Kyle Clifton, the middle linebacker, number 59, jumped up in the air now. Remember now that this kick was made by the Giants. But because he jumped up in the air, listen to this rule. If you're not on the line of scrimmage, you cannot jump and block a kick. Therefore, unsportsmanlike conduct called on the Jets. Giants get the ball back, touchdown.
Strange rule, Irv.
You know, it was a great call, but a lousy rule. I can't understand it. Really, it's a terrible rule.
And the NFL today continues on CBS after
Hank Stram back in Philadelphia. The Cowboys lead 7-3 at the half. And, of course, the Cowboys got the touchdown on a 38-yard interception returned by Dennis Thurman. 7 turnovers in the first half. Danny White, Hank, has thrown 3 interceptions. So the question is this a defensive-dominated game, or is it the fact that the offense just hasn't been able to click?
It's been a combination of both things. I think anytime you have this kind of a game, you have to realize that the offense is not doing a good job, and I'm really surprised at Danny White. I'm a great fan of his, and I've seen him play so many great games, but he's been very, very poor in the first half, and I wonder whether or not he'll play in the second half, and he might go to Hogaboom. On the other hand, I think that the Philadelphia defense has been really outstanding. Great hitting. The Cowboy defense has been very, very good. And I think Pisarcik has had a very, very good half for a guy that hasn't played for a long time.
That's not an easy situation for Joe Pisarcik to be in, despite the fact that, as we said, he's been in the league for 11 years. And the thing is, it's a tight ball game, 7-3. We'll see what transpires when we come back to Philadelphia. The Dallas Cowboys will be kicking off to the Philadelphia Eagles as we start the third quarter. Here at Veterans Stadium, there's Tony Dorsett, who suffered a mild concussion, did not return to the game early in the second when he fumbled. And, of course, that turnover set up Philadelphia's only points, the Paul McFadden 23-yard field goal, 7-3 ball game. And to talk about the lack of offense and the dominating defense, whichever you prefer, each team is averaging only 3 yards per offensive play, and that's awfully low. Tom Landry, who will go on, continue on coaching. What did he tell us yesterday, Hank? He says, I don't know how the players feel about it. I'm glad I've made up my mind to end the speculation. I don't know how they felt.
And the other thing, you know, he's very honest about his team. He said, you know, we're not like we used to be. We have to play hard every play and every game, or else we're not going to win. It isn't like it used to be back in the old days when we had such good personnel and just had to pump the ball up, screw the hats on, and go out there and play. It's different now.
Marion Campbell, on the other hand, has to feel real good. He told us the other day, he says, we went through a very tough period when we lost 3 games in a row around mid-season. He said, we've matched up well the last 3 weeks against good, tough teams.
And I don't think anybody except another coach or on a coaching staff realizes what a great selling job that is when you've lost 3 to sell your team and the idea that you can come back and win. That's what he and his staff has been able to do, and they deserve a lot of credit.
You've seen the principals and the kickoff now. Rafael Septien will be booting it, and Evan Cooper will be at the goal line. He is flanked by Ray Ellis and Andre Waters. Set to play. Keep in mind that the Cowboys have won 3 in a row here at Veterans Stadium, or 3 in a row against Philadelphia, 2 straight actually, here at Veterans Stadium. The kick heading for Evan Cooper, and it goes about 2 yards in the end zone. Cooper hit by Bates shy of the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Well, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. Well, the Eagles managed, Hank, only 28 yards rushing in the first half, 27 of them by Wilbert Montgomery.
Well, we said earlier, the Stotner said, we'll be ready to play, and we're going to do a good job defensively, and they've done that so far.
And Pisarcik's numbers, not bad at all. He's had 1 intercepted. Ball at the 18. Hubie Oliver, the lone setback. Pisarcik hit by Ed Jones. He had 2 sacks against the Patriots. He leads the Cowboys in forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and knockdowns, you name it. He's in the picture, it seems, all the time. You know, Dutton and Jones, they've been around a long time. In fact, Dutton was the oldest Cowboy at 34 years old. He's 3 weeks older than Ed Jones.
And Jones is 6'9", and Mitchell is 6'7", and usually big guys like to play against big guys. Big guys do not like to play against a shorter guy because they're much quicker usually and have better leverage.
Haddix is the running back now and gets the call. Doesn't go far. Shy of the 20. Picks up maybe a yard. Eugene Lockhart making the tackle. Eugene Lockhart is playing middle linebacker. Bob Runick on injured reserve at the back. And, of course, Lockhart, a rookie, 6th-round pick out of Houston, told us yesterday, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be starting this year for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but talking to Gil Brandt yesterday talked about what a great attitude he has. And it's very obvious talking to him because he's very, very happy about being able to play. He thought maybe at first he would maybe be able to contribute on the specialty teams. Had no idea he'd be able to start, and he's really done a great, great job.
3rd down and 9 at the 19. Extra wide receiver in there for Pisarcik, and the running back Montgomery just drops it. That's concentration or a lack of, and it'll be 4th down. That's twice today that Wilbert has dropped a pass right there.
I think that's what happens when you try to use your body to make that kind of a catch. You have to catch it out in front with your hands, and he's letting it go through the hands and hitting his shoulder pads and it bouncing right out. That's what's happening on those catches, or lack of catches.
Yeah. 6th kick for Horan, and Gary Allen is back. There's a high snap. They weren't rushing. Fine kick again by Horan. Allen picks it up. Good block. Penalty flags are down. Maybe in the neighborhood of a illegal block. A 48-yard kick by Horan, and Allen made the most of the return as he brings it back to the 39-yard line. We'll call it the 40-yard line. We'll sort out the penalty. Penalty against the Dallas Cowboys, and they'll mark it off.
Illegal block on the kick return team, number 40. 1st down.
We've only had 3 penalties in the ball game. That was on Bill Bates, the first one against the Dallas Cowboys. So it'll be 1st and 10 Dallas on their 28-yard line. 7-3, the Cowboys lead the Eagles.
You know, one thing about a good quarterback like Danny White, he might have a couple of bad quarters, but you have to go on the fact that he probably will not have 4 bad quarters, and that's why I'm sure he's still in the game.
And Tony Dorsett is in the game, and that's good news for the Cowboys. And will carry the ball on 1st down, gets a block, turns the corner, 1st down for Dorsett as he takes a lick from Wes Hopkins and winds up on the Dallas bench. Doug Donnelly set the good block. 14-yard pickup by Tony.
And that's a great illustration. Look at his cutting ability. Goes right straight ahead at the line of scrimmage and then breaks laterally to the line of scrimmage, breaks to the outside. Look at his hit by Hopkins. Boy, you don't think he's a great safety man. He's big and he's strong and he really thumps you.
Tony Dorsett is now going over the 1,000-yard mark for the 7th time in 8-year career. He needed 21 and he has 25.
On 5 carries, he's averaged 5 yards a clip.
1st and 10 at the 43. Dorsett pass. Going to throw the ball. He's got Renfro, and it's picked off. Hopkins, his 2nd of the ball game, and brings it back to the 48-yard line. That's the 5th turnover by the Dallas Cowboys, and the 2nd interception by Wes Hopkins in the ball game, and he runs that back 26 yards.
Here's the pitch. He runs to the right, stops, and throws the ball down the field. He had to stop and try to come back for the ball. Hopkins sees the play, reads it well, gets a good jump, and sucks it right out of the air. Makes a good return, and Philadelphia has possession. Well, Renfro starts to look over his right shoulder, then his left shoulder. By the time it gets there, however, it was up in the air too long. That's the only problem with it. You can't hang the ball up there that long. I think any time that you throw the ball deep in the middle area, the defensive back can cover at least 20 yards while that ball is in the air.
4 interceptions on the year for Wes Hopkins. Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 48-yard line. Less than 2 minutes gone by, 3rd quarter. Another turnover, the 5th of the game by Dallas, and Hubie Oliver busts off the left side to the 42-yard line. A good gain on 1st down. This is what the Dallas Cowboys have done when they've had the ball. The field position hasn't been all that bad, but look at the interception, interception, interception. They've had their problems. Of course, Danny White has thrown 3, and Tony Dorsett threw that last one. Question is, Hank, can Philadelphia capitalize?
They got off to a good start with that last straight-ahead shot. I think you'll find that if they go straight ahead rather than sideways, why they move the ball much better.
2nd down and 4. At the Cowboy 42, Montgomery gets inside the 40, shy of a first down by about a yard. Michael Downs and Eugene Lockhart making the tackle. So the Cowboys, as we've mentioned, have turned the ball over a great deal, and they've been hurt only once, and that was the field goal. 5 turnovers, 3 points coming out of it. And for the Eagles, of course, a touchdown resulting on an interception early. 3rd down and 2. Pisarcik, 11 of 22. Spagnola caught 8 passes in the first half for 95 yards. He goes in motion. And here's Haddix. Michael Haddix close to the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball.
There again, they had to take the ball from the right side of the ball all the way over to the left side. They haven't been able to do that in the game so far, and I'm surprised they came right back with it again. I don't know whether they made the first down or not, but it's a long way to go and a long way for those people to hold the blocks on that kind of a situation on short yardage.
They did not make it. It'll be 4th down, and the Eagles are going to go for it. Lockhart and Scott made the tackle. So Marion Campbell making the decision here early in this 3rd quarter, trailing 7-3, go for it 4th and 1.
Yeah, that's a good decision. He's got to go for it.
He's got 3 tight ends. Cav and Sampleton join Spagnola.
Outside left would be a good place to go. They're in the gaps.
Here's Haddix, and he should have the first down. Tony Hill is saying no. See where they put the ball down, and we're going to have a measurement. Jones and Lockhart were right there for Haddix, and it's going to be close, Hank.
It's going to be close, but really they had a great advantage on the outside left. They had everybody inside except Fellows on the outside. It could have been very effective, but they went to the right side, and it's going to be close.
Inches either way. You saw Ted Marchibroda shaking his head on the sideline saying, well, this is too close for us to call. Here's Ted Marchibroda to the right of Marion Campbell. Let's see if the gamble paid off. Hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? He missed by inches. The Cowboys hold defensively and will take over in good field position at the 38-yard line.
Boy, there again.
You're going to measure it again.
Measure it again.
Is this a recount?
But with everybody being in the gaps
he missed it.
Yeah, everybody being in the gaps like they were, boy, that's a tough place to run.
They should have listened to you, Coach.
Of course, if I knew anything about it, I'd be down there instead of being up here.
I'd rather you be up here. Campbell going for the 4th and 1, falls short, and now the Cowboys on their 39-yard line, 1st and 10, 7-3 Dallas leading Philadelphia. Timmy Newsom or Tony Dorsett hemmed in, gets by Wilkes, and Elbert fouls and picks up about 4 yards. Right now for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger.
Dick, the Giants are dominating the Jets right now. They've made it 17-0. Joe Morris ran in from 8 yards out. His 4th touchdown of the season. It is all Giants in the battle for New York. Back to Dick.
All right. Thank you very much, Brent. Of course, Washington won Thursday, and the Giants are winning big, and the Cardinals are winning big, Hank. Dallas is in the fight right now.
They really are in a fight. And they really haven't been able to generate any kind of an offense consistently here this afternoon at all, and I'm surprised they haven't hit Cosby.
Well, they hit Tony Hill, and Tony Hill, they get Ron Springs. Sorry, Ron Springs goes in for the touchdown. Cosby's going to have to wait his turn. This is a 57-yard pass to the back, coming out of the backfield. Ron Springs, a touchdown, and the offense finally scores for Dallas. They had not scored in over 10 quarters.
Well, you talk about a big play and lightning striking. Good protection. Throws the ball inside. Tony Hill. It's not Tony Hill. It's Ron Springs, number 20. And he breaks it clean all the way for the touchdown. A big play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Third touchdown reception for Ron Springs. And now Raphael Septien with Hogaboom holding. The kick is good, and it is now 14-3 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. And all it's taken is one big play, and the Cowboys have opened up an 11-point lead. Ron Springs, who lost his starting job to Timmy Newsom in the last game against the Patriots, comes back and makes the big play here in the third quarter. Ron Springs, 57 yards, and it's 14-3. The Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles, and Septien will be kicking off. Andre Waters is now the man in the middle on the receiving end, back for the Eagles. It's quiet now in Veterans Stadium. There's Evan Cooper, who's over to the right, but the man in the middle, Andre Waters. Waters bobbles it 2 yards in the end zone and will take it there for the touchback, and the Eagles will bring it out to the 20, 1st and 10. Next Saturday, college basketball comes your way on CBS Sports. Nevada, Las Vegas, one of the top teams in the West, will come east for a showdown with top-ranked Georgetown. Patrick Ewing, considered by many to be the premier player in college basketball, in action in the first real test for Georgetown as they continue their quest to repeat as national champions. Next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS Sports. Penalty marker down. It's against Philadelphia, holding, and they're going to bring it back.
You know, talking about Pat Ewing, we kidded about him being a tight end. Years ago, I had a football camp at Kutcher's Country Club in New York, and we had Wilt Chamberlain, and he was playing for the Philadelphia Sixers at that time, and he was talking about, I said, gee, you ought to play professional football. He's thinking about playing pro ball or boxing, and I thought he'd be a great tight end. He said, no, I don't want to be a tight end. I want to be the quarterback.
Ed Jones wouldn't be batting down his passes, that's for sure. 1st and 10, back at the 10-yard line. Pisarcik play action, rushed and down for a safety. Let's see where they mark it. Yes, it's a safety. John Dutton gets credit for it, and Pisarcik tackled in his own end zone and tacked 2 more points on the Dallas board. It's now 16-3, and Pisarcik might have been shaken up a bit. 3rd sack of the ball game by Dallas.
Watch Dutton, number 78, breaks to the inside and comes right up the alley unmolested, and sacks Joe Pisarcik. Safety, 2 points.
And Dallas will get the ball back on a free kick situation from the Eagles. You know, maybe that touchdown pass to Ron Springs was just what the doctor ordered for the Cowboys, because you looked at the emotion after Springs scored the touchdown, and they've been kind of lethargic. The Cowboys have in many respects. A couple of weeks ago against Buffalo, and this seemed to get them going in the right direction.
Well, they've always been so capable of making big plays. They haven't made many of them so far this season, but they surely came up with a big one with 2 Ron Springs, and they've changed the personality of this game, it seems, totally.
And, of course, this NFC Eastern Division race really heating up with all of the 4 out of the 5 clubs winning or having won or heading for victories. There's Mike Horan, Gary Allen, and Chuck McSwain. Allen on the left. We have 10 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 16-3 the score now in favor of Dallas. McSwain inside the 30-yard line. Gives ground. Major Everett. Sampleton. Good recovery by McSwain as he gets to the 30-yard line where Brenard Wilson makes the tackle. The Giants leading the Jets 17-0. Cardinals ahead of the New England Patriots 27-10 in the third quarter. Washington having won Thursday, and of course Dallas now leading 16-3. Here's the story. Next week the Giants against St. Louis. Cardinals can still win the division, by the way. will be there at Busch Stadium. Some of you in the Midwest will see Green Bay against Chicago. Second game of the doubleheader, the Redskins and the Cowboys. First and 10 at the 30. Dorsett. Jerry Robinson, among others, making the tackle at the 31-yard line.
The Eagles are really chasing as soon as they see the ball released or handed to the running back. As a result, I think some kind of a misdirection, some kind of a reverse. Once they get better field position, Dick could be very effective because they're really chasing like gangbusters.
Of course, the Eagles have to be shaking their heads on the sidelines. The defense has given them 5 opportunities, and they've only been able to capitalize once on a field goal. So a lot of opportunities gone by the boards for the Philadelphia Eagles today, and now they trail 16-3. Second and 9 at the 31-yard line. Play action. Danny White has some time. He's going deep for Tony Hill, and Herman Edwards intercepts for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Cowboys continue to give the Philadelphia Eagles more opportunity. For Danny White, his 4th interception, the 5th against the Cowboys in the 6th turnover.
Tony Hill on Herman Edwards. There you see him. He's looking at the quarterback and then looking at the receiver. He sees the ball is thrown. He gets a jump on it. The ball is underthrown, and Herman Edwards is able to make the interception.
Second interception of the season for Herman Edwards. Hopkins has 2, Ellis has 1, Wilkes has 1, but Philadelphia has not done anything offensively, thanks to Dallas's D. Having a miserable game statistically. Of course, he threw that touchdown pass, and the Cowboys are winning 16-3, and that's where they pay off. First and 10 Eagles on their 34-yard line. Hubie Oliver is the lone back. Pisarcik's pass batted down by Jones. Second down.
You know, I think anytime that you play a guy against a tall defensive end like Jones, who is as active as he is, and you want to throw the ball in front of the defensive back, I think it's very important that you block down with your tight end to get the defensive gets his hands down and then throw over the top. You can't throw over the top if you just block him straight ahead with an offensive tackle.
Jones has knocked down 11 of those this year, and that's his career best. 12 is his career best. Second and 10 on the 34. Pisarcik. And there is Jim Jeffcoat getting into the act. 4th sack of the ball game. One of them was a safety, and now Jim Jeffcoat. Randy White has 2. Dutton had the safety. Jeffcoat there, and Jones has batted down a lot of passes.
Jeffcoat makes an inside move, an inside stunt, gets by the center Denard, and as a result makes the sack on Joe Pisarcik. And this is a tough time to be the quarterback when they know you have to throw to play catch-up football and get back in the game. Boy, the smoke is coming out of their ears and their nose, and they're really eager to rush the passer, and that's what they're doing right now.
Last week, 10 sacks on Tony Eason, the most they've had in 9 years. They've got 4 right now. It is 3rd down and 21. Back at the 23-yard line. Pisarcik's pass knocked away by Clinkscale, intended for Mel Hoover. And it'll be 4th down, punting. I didn't know they booed in Philadelphia, but I think they're booing right now, Henry. Do you ever know them to do that here?
You might have a scoop if you didn't know. They don't boo anymore.
Yeah. My tongue is embedded deeply in my cheek as I say that.
Yeah, I know.
4th down. Moran, the kick. Allen is back. Moran has been kicking well today, and this is another good punt. Allen back at the 25. Brings it out to about the 37-yard line. Well, the month of December, we've got 3 NCAA basketball games for you featuring the nation's top teams. We told you about next Saturday, UNLV against Georgetown, the #1 ranked team, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Then in 2 weeks, Georgetown makes another appearance against the DePaul Blue Demons, and they're going to be a big contender this year. That'll be 3:45 Eastern. And then on December 22nd, UCLA against St. John's. Walter Berry, a fine junior college transfer, joins Chris Mullen, the All-American and Olympian. First and 10 at the 37 for the Cowboys. quarter. Dorsett. Nothing on the play. Second down.
Well, you have to give the Eagle defense a lot of credit. They've really played very aggressively this afternoon. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys have played the same way.
Winding down to 8 minutes remaining. Here are the turnovers today and what's happened. Second and 9.